All right, folks, hanging out with my buddy Jason Smard with really the Canadian dominance is what he brings to the table. Is he bleeds down into North America and brings his brilliance to all of we humble Americans. But we got the Canadian side, we got the Texas side, and we're going to talk a little bit about real estate. That's what we do here. We, in our extensive pre-show preparation, we batted around a couple of topics, and we're both just kind of constantly returning to the same conversation, which is why neither of us have joined eXp Realty. And the fact of the matter is, there's a lot we've both been told and shown and offered and invited to. There's probably a bunch that I'll just speak for myself and say that maybe I don't know, but it's obviously a hot topic. I know I get asked a lot about it, and I'm sure you do too, Jason. So we wanted to talk a little bit about it. I'm sure we'll get into kind of why we're in the situations we're in, what our values and priorities are, and we can talk about what other people may want to look for and prioritize and value and add, why EXP might be good for you or not. We're not EXP people, total disclaimer, whatever, but we're also not haters or anything like that either. But we get asked about it so much, we thought we would chat a little bit about it and see what else comes up in the conversation. So why don't you kick us off, Jason? You've got a huge high-producing team. I'm sure you've been a target for a bunch of people that wanted to bring you in. What have some of your conversations looked like?
Sure. Well, so it's important to first say that I have absolutely no problem with EXP. I think it's a great business model, and I think there's a small percentage of people that will make very good money doing it. And certainly they're doing some progressive things. So I'm not putting down EXP. I'm going to explain why I didn't go with EXP. And then I'm going to explain throughout this show today how, if you did go with EXP, how you can actually make it work for you, because I have some pretty good ideas and angles of how people should do it and how some people have done it successfully. So here's the deal. I've been pitched EXP no less than 15 different times, 15 different people. 12 of those people I didn't even know. And so that's the first problem with, in my viewpoint, with EXP. It's the network marketing component of it. The problem with network marketing is there's people that misuse it. And so what you start seeing is people that all they talk about is EXP, and every post is about EXP. And if you haven't joined EXP, then you're a loser. You're not doing things right, or you're being taken advantage of. There's so much money on the table here. We're the future, EXP. And so unfortunately what those people do is they sour the brand, and brand is everything, right? The reason I'm at RE/MAX, for example, is because I believe in the brand. It's a global brand. If I think about real estate, I've mentioned RE/MAX, everybody knows the brand, and that's important to me. I want to be associated with a global brand. I'm in the business of selling real estate. That's why I joined the business. I'm not in the business of recruiting agents, although I've hand selected some people that I work with that I call my business partners, and we do business together. I'm not looking to become a network marketer. That's just my personal viewpoint. So although there are some people that will bring a tremendous amount of value and can really support people in being successful in real estate, there's quite a few out there with EXP. There's a lot of people that are misusing the brand, and I think that, unfortunately, in my opinion, long term will tarnish the brand's value. It's kind of like the whole Amway thing, right? Not to say that in a negative light, because there's a lot of people that have made a lot of money from it, but there's a lot more people that didn't. And again, in my eyes, the Amway brand isn't a global brand the way that a RE/MAX would be. So that's my first viewpoint, is just people abusing.
Yeah. And again, I'll be careful, because I do, like you said, I know some really great agents at EXP. They're really, really good. It seems like I'm seeing a whole lot more people, it's the 80-20 rule. I'm sure, just like anything else, the Pareto principle usually flushes itself out, that the vast majority of the people are not going to have that level of success. And they're just going to be hammering Facebook and Twitter for join us. This is the future. Without a whole lot of substance. But I absolutely do know some people that are selling a bunch of houses that take great care of their clients, and they're building, big organizations. I see some benefits in regard to when you're kind of part of somebody's network and group, then they want to nurture and cultivate you, coach you, help you, that kind of thing. But I do see, just like in any organization, I see people really, really abusing it. I think for me personally, the reason it hasn't yet been attractive to me, and I've been pitched as well, is that I see a lot of people taking their eye off the ball, right? And for me, the ball is delivering world-class value to our clients. And for me, it's delivering world-class value to my team members, right? So that we can collectively deliver phenomenal value to our clients, right? Sell their houses at record-breaking prices, help people get into homes at really, really great financial pictures, but also their personal family picture. And then making sure there's an amazing, bright future of growth for our team members, that they can grow, increase their income, increase their so-called balance in their life, but meaning where their business fits into their life, and they can live what they would consider, without it being cheesy, like their dream life, right? Pursue their faith goals and their health goals and their relational goals, and still sell homes and have a great time with their clients and not chase garbage leads and all those things that we talk about all the time. But I'm sure there are some people doing that at EXP, but it seems like the vast majority of people I see there, and other real estate brokerage businesses that are built more on, I won't say more on, but built a lot on residual revenue as opposed to the business of selling homes. Now, I want to make one key point before I volley it back to Jason, because there's one agent in my local market, which is Dallas Fort Worth. So it's massive. You won't figure out who I'm talking about. I'm not going to badmouth any one person, but she goes on social media and offline too, and just abuses the privilege of having open communication lines with people. And her deal is sort of attacking every other brokerage model, attacking everyone else's, team situation. And her deal is, go ask your broker how you can retire with them, because I'm sure they promised that to you. It's like, whoa, chill out. And she's coming from this perspective that, like, no other real estate company can offer you career growth. No other real estate company can offer you the opportunity to build residual lifelong income, which is just stupid. That's just dumb to say, right? Now, it may be that there's not another company doing it exactly like EXP, and I'm confident that quite a few people will do really well with that model at EXP, and they're good, honorable, character-driven people. But my point is, I don't really want to be in business under the same brand, logo, whatever, as people that are out there doing that stuff all the time. Now, for me, that's why I'm not part of any big, huge brand. Now, Jason just talked about his commitment and his value in a big global brand like RE/MAX. I'm an independent broker in Dallas, Fort Worth with 2 small offices, and that's how we want it. That doesn't mean we won't grow, but I don't feel the need to tap into a globally known logo or, national conference or whatever. So that's the answer to the question why I don't do it, right? We create an environment and a culture of growth and nurturing and sustainability for our small population of people that we are absolutely committed to creating a phenomenal life for. And that just doesn't, for me, connect and tie perfectly into EXP. Maybe that would change someday. I don't know. But that's my initial answer. So I'll bounce it back to you, Jason, as to, what are some of the other reasons you don't do that? But I think even more importantly, why you do things the way you do. And if I'm a viewer or a listener right now, I'm asking the question, what's the best scenario for me? It's not really all about EXP. We're just talking about a big conversation in our world of real estate, and something you and I keep getting pitched with. But if I'm listening and watching, I'm going, where should I be? What should I be doing? And maybe what values and commitments should I pursue? So where are you on that?
Yeah, good question. EXP so what I'm seeing is everybody's got their videos. So their strategy is, okay, they put this social media post out there, or they'll put something out and say, look, I left RE/MAX to join EXP. Here's why. And they're kind of trying to slag another brand. And I don't think that's ever the best approach. So if you've made a shift to EXP, I think one way, if you want to attract people to work with you, is to really become a mentor and provide value in helping them be successful in their real estate business. So for example, if you're somebody that's an influencer in the industry, those are the people that are going to make the majority of the money at EXP, by the way. Mm-hmm. Those are the people it makes sense for. Some people might say that you and I have some influence in the industry, a small amount, but, mm-hmm. And that's why we should be over. I pretty much had somebody tell me I was an idiot for not doing EXP. And at the end of the day, I'm not doing these things because of money. Mm-hmm. That's very important for people to understand. My business, everything that I do, isn't because of money. It's because I really do genuinely love helping people. And real estate happens to be my favorite medium to do that. So if you are going to be doing EXP successfully, look to build a network of people where you're invested in helping them succeed with their business, not a recruiting, not like, don't focus on the recruiting. That's the obvious part. People know that. They know that EXP is like, hey, you know, you can join my downline or whatever. They know that. So don't focus on it. Focus on providing value to the teams that you're building, the people that you're bringing into your organization. If that starts spreading, people are going to want to ask questions like, tell me about this EXP. Like, I hear you've been really helping my friend John over here succeed and blah, blah, blah. One of the other reasons for me why I'm not at EXP, just going back to that though, and I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but one of the reasons I'm not, one of the guys in my local market who I actually respect and looked up to, when I got in the business, I was a few months in, I'd sent him a message and I said, hey, I'd love to pick your brain sometime, buy you a beer, a cup of coffee, and just talk business. He never responded. It wasn't until several months later that we did our first deal together that I had my first conversation, and I just called him out on it. I said, hey, I sent you a message like months ago and I never heard back from you. And I still remember what he said to me. He said, I don't associate with people like realtors in my marketplace. I don't collaborate, I don't associate. And I thought, wow, okay, totally different mindset and approach than I've taken, because I'm very open and I always invite any of my competitors, because I don't see it as competition. We're all here. There's enough business for everybody to succeed. I'm very inviting. And if anybody called me and said, hey, I want to come pick your brain and learn what you guys are doing, and, you know, I'd do the same. I'd pick their brain. He's now EXP. And so what he's saying to the world is, hey, I'm going to help you. Yet the true colors that I saw weren't that at all. You know, when I'd reached out to him, he wasn't providing any value. He had no interest in even developing an acquaintanceship or even picking my brain at all. And, you know, we're two very successful people in our local marketplace. So to me, that was disappointing. And knowing that person is now championing that brand, it's not congruent with my personal values. So again, that's another reason for me not to want to do it, is just the brand perception, I guess.
Yeah, it's making me think a little bit. I mean, I've been doing this for 17 years. I was an investor for a couple of years before I got licensed. I've been licensed for 16 years now. And so the early days of my career, Keller Williams was certainly established already, but they were in this rapid hockey stick growth type of phase. They might still be, and they're so huge, but that EXP is sort of in now, right? And so KW has an element of that, still does. But to me, it's not like this brilliant new idea. And again, I'm not bashing EXP. I think there's some real merit to some of the virtual aspects of what they do for some people. But again, to really talk more about what I value as opposed to what I don't find a perfect fit for me. What I value for me is real life human interaction. I actually don't want to be in a virtual setting. Our agents are in the office every day at 8:30. We're high-fiving, we're talking smack, we're playing golf in the hallway, shooting videos together, leaning in, helping each other on transactions. And I know you can do some of that through interaction, you know, in a virtual world. So it's not a criticism of that. It's just an observation that for me, even when people call and ask me, you know, how do you guys set as many appointments as you do, blah, 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 blah. I want to hire a virtual assistant in the Philippines. I want to have someone make these calls for me from this place or whatever. I always say, look, I'm not saying that doesn't work. It's just never been my preference. We want to have live, warm bodies in the office. I want to know you and your spouse and your kids. And I want to know on Monday morning how, you know, baseball went over the weekend kind of thing. That's the value. It's kind of the community connectedness that you're talking about. For me, it's literally in the physical work environment. It doesn't mean you can't still have that if you're at Keller Williams or EXP or whatever, you know, but my point is, you know, you've got companies saying we're virtual. You've got other companies saying we're not even a real estate company anymore. We're a technology company. I believe that if the whole world of real estate wants to move in that direction, I want to go the other way. And I want to be the company that's still really well known for me. And these people will look you in the eye and shake your hand and really take phenomenal care of you. You go work over there, you're going to be part of that guy's family, you know? Now it's not like we're offering people, you can just retire and keep making $500,000 a year without waking up every day. You know, we're not offering that. But what we're saying is you can build a life here. And this selling of houses will be part of it. And we want to help cultivate growth in you and your marriage and your family and your parenting and your kids. And your career is a huge part of that. In this world of real estate, there's nothing that real estate doesn't touch, right? You've got to understand that this gets interwoven with your life. It's not life and business, it's interwoven. And I just believe our model, obviously, is the way we want to do it. It's what I feel called to and committed to. And I haven't seen any other model yet that I felt like I should leave this and go do. So it's not about Keller Williams or EXP or REMAX or any of those things. It's about what's right for me. And I would challenge anybody watching or listening to really evaluate what's right for you. What do you want to look back on 40, 50 years from now and be really, really proud of? One of our company core values is to build relationships that your grandchildren will be proud of. You know, if you're running things through that filter, like Jason said, it's definitely about money some, but it's not all about money. It's not first about money. You've got to make money and provide, a lifestyle and safety and security and all those things, but that's not the number one pursuit. Would my grandkids be like, man, I'm really proud of our family because of what the impact we've had here in other families and in the community? I wear it as a badge of honor that my granddad sold homes to thousands of people in this area. What does that look like? Would somebody say, my uncle worked for your granddad? That's really, really cool. Like that's the stuff I get excited about. So that's why we're creating this. And if you're watching and listening, what do you want to be? What are you excited about? What do you want to look back on? And then you go find, maybe it's EXP, maybe it's REMAX, maybe it's Keller Williams, Prudential, Century 21, Coldwell Banker. The name and the logo don't matter. Is it a fit for an exchange of value for you? So anyway, those are my meatiest thoughts on the topic of how you pick what's right for you.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, people pick brokerages or they pick environments based on the people within them. And so there's going to be some REMAX franchises that are way better run than others. There's going to be Keller Williams franchises that are run better than others. The list goes on. At the end of the day, I don't know that the brand is the most important thing. I think it's the support. And one of the things that I really love about the brokerage that I'm a part of is we do, like, there's events that we do, like social events that we get together. Yeah. We have like a poker night coming up where we're raising money for the Children's Hospital here locally.
Are you any good?
I'm not great, no, but I'm gonna,
I kind of feel like you might be a hustler and you might say that. And then you show up like, how many cards do I get? And then all of a sudden you're all in and you take everybody's money.
I'm competitive. I'm going to try my best, but I love those kind of things. I love the social aspect. And at the end of the day, real estate is very much a collaborative game too, right? As much as, you're always negotiating for your client for their best interests, you have to keep in mind in a market like mine, you're going to be doing transactions with those agents again. So it's really important that you treat everybody respectfully. And, look, I lose my cool sometimes. I don't like that. Sometimes certain personalities bring that out of you in a negotiation. And I always want to be the guy that's, collaborative and works really well. But, there's times where you lose your cool and it's just part of the business. But at the end of the day, I do value the relationships with every agent that I've worked with. And I try to create the best experience possible for them also, so that, in the end, we want to work together in the future and that we're not avoiding each other's listings and things like that. So EXP, let's talk about why EXP could work and how, if we did join EXP, what would we, like, how would we approach it? So I'd be curious to know. Let's say you did sign up with EXP, you just switched your whole brokerage over. What would be your like, how would you approach this?
All right, so here's exactly what I've thought about this, because obviously I've been pitched on it, and I don't even want to say pitch in a bad way, because honestly, the people that have presented it to me are A, significant influencers in the industry, and B, people that I know pretty well. I haven't had 15, 16 different pitches like Jason has. He's just cooler than me, apparently. But I've had a handful of really impressive, solid people that I would otherwise absolutely consider working with in one way or another. But for me, if I were to do it, so I have a coaching and consulting company. That's not a big secret. We don't like blast that on these things, but that's part of my life is we help people grow in their business and create a business that fits into their life instead of the other way around. I would just do that. I mean, I would continue to do what I do for a handful more people, for the right people that share the same core values and that want to grow. And I would say, look, our weekly coaching calls, you're in. Our online module training, you have full access to them now. our scripts, our checklists, our systems, our client care approach, our client experience timeline, our model for Raving Fan Club and how we deliver value way beyond the sale for a lifetime. You're in now. It's not that just like you're part of my deal and now you're over there doing your thing. You're part of the family. And now we're going to coach, consult, cultivate, come alongside of you, solve problems together, dream big dreams together. To me, it would be just like what we do here on the team. We've had the privilege and the challenge, to be honest. It's been very hard at times of figuring out how to do this in 2 different locations because we have a small office in Fort Worth. And so that's called us, challenged us, pushed us to figure out how to deliver that when you're not in the same physical environment. So the shortest answer I could give is I would extend every single thing we do for our team members and our coaching and consulting clients. And if you were part of our, I don't even know officially what it's called, downline, network, organization, group, whatever, then you would now be someone that I will take responsibility for helping make sure you're successful. Hopefully I could also learn from you, just like with our team members, our coaching and consulting clients. And so there would be an exchange of ideas, what's working for you. If you're not someone willing to share, you wouldn't be welcome into our group, just like you wouldn't be welcome into our team or coaching or whatever, because that's what we value is helping and growing each other. Just because I'm a coach or a consultant or I have a solid team doesn't mean I'm not trying to learn from Jason or one of our buyer specialists or our video guy, right? Like that would be my mentality. So how would you do it?
Well, I think it'd be actually a very similar approach. I would be focused on providing value, helping, and saying, look, if you're going to be working in our downline or part of our organization, we have a vested interest in your success and we want to help you. And the reality of it is I do that right now for free with a lot of people and they don't realize, but I actually care to see them successful. Like it makes me happy when they reach out to me 3 months later, 6 months later, they're having success. Yep. And small tips that I've given them has made a difference. And the problem here I go back to the problem for me is I only have so much time and energy that I can give to people. So right. I would be so distracted from my core business right now that I would be trying to put so much energy into all these people that I brought in because I feel personally responsible to ensure their success. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I probably want it worse than they do. And that's not healthy too. There is a certain point where I can't. So I'd have to basically, for me, I think I would have to completely exit production in real estate. I would have to make a decision that, I'm going to be growing an organization and I'm literally going to be helping agents 24/7. That's basically what my role would be in order to do it the way that it makes sense. And I'm not at that point where I want to give up something that I'm actually having a lot of fun with. My core real estate business, I'm really enjoying seeing my team have some successes on the things that we've been working on. And to me, that gets me excited. But that would be the approach. I think just be helpful. But I certainly wouldn't be putting anything out that is like, hey, are you curious about EXP? Here's why you shouldn't go to Remax, or I wouldn't do any of that. I would just be genuinely helping people. And if people ask questions, I'd say, look, here's the company that I'm working with. Here's the group that we've set up. Here's the value to the people that are within the group. Talk to them. I mean, at the end of the day, talk to the people that are within the system and how successful they're being. And I would focus on just that. And there are people that I've seen in the industry, that's what they're doing. And that's the right way. They're the people that will succeed and make a tremendous amount of money. But unfortunately for quite a few people, it's just going to be, they join an organization and they're kind of left high and dry. And it really, if you are going to do EXP, make sure the person that you're attaching yourself to is someone that is going to be genuinely providing value and helping you in your business, because it's not like you just join EXP and all of a sudden you're making all this money. There's work that you're going to have to put into it. And most people aren't influencers in the industry, so it's going to be tough for them to recruit people that have no value to provide. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I think the best type of marketing is what I call evidence of success. It's just people seeing things work. And so I've seen some people do that really well. They're just like, hey, so-and-so came over and here's what's going on now. Here's how we're helping them, kind of thing. So again, not to make it entirely about EXP, but that was the question, because some days it feels like that's all the industry wants to talk about, right? There's plenty of other things going. You got Remax and Redfin, you've got Purple Brick and Open Door and all this crazy stuff. And I think the point of what our discussion today, and we'll wrap it up here in a second, but is that you do want to pay attention to all those things, but you need to have a strong enough commitment to what is right for you to not be distracted, to not be, pulled off your game, to not be, to not change your mind a lot, to not decide, oh, that's a better opportunity for me. But sometimes that happens, but it's not every day, right? You need to know, you need to establish what you value, what's important to you, what business model, what legacy, all those things. And then you can have a filter for, where do I think the industry is going? What would I do if the industry went that way? What would I do if technology changed? What would I do if, there's in the United States, there's a massive lawsuit. I got asked about it last night on the radio. The attorneys that did the big tobacco case, not all of them, some of the same ones, some of the same firms are basically forming a massive class action suit. And it's really misunderstood what the suit's even about. But as an agent, should you know about that? Yeah, I think you should be able to have a conversation about that. You should spend some time thinking through, whether it's likely or not, what would happen if they were victorious in that suit? What would happen if they fail? How could I capitalize on it from a marketing perspective? How can I set my clients at ease? How can I assure my team members of a future here? All of these different major media news shifts in the market, whatever you want to call them, disruptions are relevant to you, right? So I think they're worthy of conversation. We had sort of one, not really narrow, but one major topical conversation today, but it also illustrates that if you're really firm in where your values are and where your business plan is, stay true to it and work towards that goal, but be aware of what's happening around you so that you can have the conversation and you can capitalize on an opportunity when it presents itself, because there are people that these types of opportunities are ideal for. So anyway, any other final thoughts?
Yeah, just final thought for anybody that's going to be sending us some hate emails and stuff. We want to make it clear. I have absolutely no problem with EXP. I think it's a brilliant business model, and like, look at the growth. I mean, the growth has been unbelievable. I think it makes a lot of sense for some people. I was just merely articulating why it didn't make sense for me at this point, and why. But certainly, it's not a bad gig. Just make sure you understand what the commitment level is going to be if you want to make that type of income that they can show you within EXP. Make sure you understand that, and it will distract you from your core business if you're putting a lot of energy prospecting on recruiting versus prospecting for new business. And that's basically the reasons why for me it doesn't make sense at this point. And for anybody else that is going to want to bash EXP, don't bash them. I mean, they are doing some phenomenal things. There's a lot of great opportunity there, and I have friends that are going to absolutely dominate. And you know what? One day they might be like, look at all the passive income I'm generating, and they might laugh at me for my decision. And I'm okay with that. I'm going in understanding that that's part of the gig. And so, yeah, this is not a bash on EXP, just merely giving our point of view, because everybody's posting their videos on why they went to EXP. Well, let's hear the other side, which is the people that didn't go to EXP. Why didn't you? And that's what the conversation was today, not the bash one group.
Yep. And I'm most interested, if you're watching, that you end up someplace that's right for you and that you can be fully committed to and passionate about it. So that's obviously our goals for each other, for ourselves, and our goal for you too. So hopefully it was a valuable conversation for you. We'll do another one here pretty soon, and we will talk to you on that one. Over and out.